When men over 35 go into a calorie deficit, research shows that up to 30 to 40% of the weight they lose can come from muscle, not fat. 30 to 40%. That means for every 10 pounds lost, potentially 3 to 4 of those pounds was muscle your body broke down for energy. And here's why that matters so much. Losing muscle while dieting makes you lighter on the scale, but it doesn't make you leaner. It makes you softer, it slows your metabolism, and it makes the next diet harder than the last one. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and the one eating change that shifts your body from burning muscle to burning fat. Here's what we're covering. First, why your body chooses muscle over fat for fuel during a deficit, and why this becomes significantly worse after 35. Second, the scale problem. Why the number going down is not the same as fat loss, and the simple way to tell whether you're losing the right thing. And third, the one eating change, not a complete diet overhaul, not a new supplement. One specific adjustment to how you eat that tells your body to protect muscle and burn fat instead. Let's start with why this happens. Before we get into the mechanics, the foundation stays the same. Fat loss requires a calorie deficit. That doesn't change. What this video is about is making sure that deficit is being filled from the right place, stored fat, rather than the wrong place, your muscle tissue. The deficit is correct. The composition of what you're losing is what we're fixing. Your body needs energy to function every hour of every day, whether you're moving or not. When you're in a calorie deficit, you're giving your body less energy than it needs, so it has to find the shortfall somewhere. The obvious answer is stored body fat. That's exactly what fat is there for. It's your body's energy reserve. But here's the problem. Your body doesn't automatically reach for fat first. It reaches for whatever is easiest to convert into usable fuel. In the first days of a deficit, your body burns through glycogen, the carbohydrate stored in your muscles and liver. That's why the scale drops fast in the first week. That's water and glycogen, not fat. After glycogen depletes, your body shifts to a mix of fat and muscle protein for fuel. And this is where the problem lives. Muscle protein can be broken down through a process called gluconeogenesis. Your body converts amino acids from muscle tissue into glucose for energy. It's efficient and fast, and if your body sees muscle as available fuel that isn't being actively used and protected, it will use it. Your body makes a constant assessment. Is this muscle worth keeping? If you're not sending a strong enough signal that the muscle is needed, through training and through nutrition, the body concludes it's excess weight it can afford to sacrifice. And after 35, this process accelerates. 2 reasons. First, anabolic resistance. After 35, your muscles become less responsive to the signals that trigger muscle protein synthesis, the process that builds and repairs muscle tissue. Your body needs a stronger signal to protect the same amount of muscle it would have held onto easily at 25. Second, lower testosterone. Testosterone is a key muscle preservation hormone. As it naturally declines after 35, your body's default bias shifts slightly away from muscle retention and toward using protein for other purposes. The combination of anabolic resistance and lower testosterone means that men over 35 in a calorie deficit lose muscle faster and more easily than younger men doing the exact same diet. So how do you know if this is actually happening to you? The scale is the most misleading tool in fat loss, and most men use it as their primary measure of progress. Here's the problem. The scale measures total body weight: fat, muscle, water, bone, everything combined. It cannot tell you what you're losing, and when you're losing muscle alongside fat, the number goes down just the same. Which means you can be losing significant muscle, seeing the scale drop, feeling like progress is happening, and actually be moving in the wrong direction. There's a specific pattern that signals muscle loss in men over 35. Most men recognize it when they hear it. The scale is dropping. But the belly isn't changing much. You're getting lighter, but you don't look leaner. If anything, you look slightly softer, less defined. The clothes fit differently, but not in the way you expected. This is the classic sign of losing muscle alongside fat, or in the worst cases, predominantly muscle. What's happening is that you're losing the tissue that gives your body shape and definition, while the fat, particularly around the midsection, remains more stubborn. This is sometimes called skinny fat, where the scale shows progress but the mirror doesn't. And here's the compounding problem I mentioned at the start. Every pound of muscle you lose reduces your resting metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns at rest. Muscle is metabolically expensive. It costs calories just to maintain. When you lose it, your body needs fewer calories to function, which means after the diet, your maintenance calorie level is lower than before you started. So you eat the same as you did before, and now you gain weight faster. Because your metabolism has slowed. That's why men who lose weight without protecting muscle often find it harder to keep the weight off, and harder to lose it again the next time. The deficit worked, but the composition of what was lost made the long-term problem worse. So what actually stops this from happening? There is one eating change, one specific adjustment, that is more effective than anything else at preserving muscle during a calorie deficit. The one eating change is protein, not a supplement, not a new diet protocol. Just a significant and deliberate increase in dietary protein. You've probably heard this before, but I want to explain it at a level most people don't, because the why is what makes men actually do it consistently. Here's what protein does during a calorie deficit that nothing else can replicate. When you eat protein, specifically when you eat enough protein in a single meal, you trigger a process called muscle protein synthesis. This is your body's muscle repair and maintenance signal. It tells your body this muscle is being used and fed. Keep it. Without that signal, when protein intake is too low, your body has no reason to maintain muscle that isn't being actively fueled, so it breaks it down. This is the difference between a deficit that burns fat and a deficit that burns muscle. But here's the detail that most people miss, and it matters enormously for men over 35. It's not just total daily protein that matters, it's how much you eat at each meal. Muscle protein synthesis is triggered by reaching what researchers call the leucine threshold, a minimum amount of the amino acid leucine in a single meal that's required to activate the muscle preservation signal. Leucine is found in protein-rich foods, and to reach the threshold that triggers a meaningful muscle preservation response, you need approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. That translates to roughly 30 to 40 grams of complete protein per meal from animal sources: meat, eggs, dairy, fish. Below that threshold, you get a weak or incomplete muscle protein synthesis response, which means the protein you ate is doing some work, but not enough to fully protect your muscle. And after 35, because of the anabolic resistance we talked about earlier, the threshold is slightly higher than it was when you were younger. Your body needs a stronger signal to get the same response. So the eating change is not just eat more protein, it's eat enough protein at each meal, spread across the day, to hit that threshold consistently. Here's how to apply this in practice, without overcomplicating it. Target: how much protein per day? For men over 35 in a calorie deficit, research consistently supports 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. At 180 pounds, that's 126 to 180 grams of protein daily. This range is significantly higher than the general population recommendation, and that gap is intentional. The higher end of this range is specifically designed to account for anabolic resistance after 35. If tracking feels overwhelming, use a simpler rule. Aim for a palm-sized portion of protein at every meal every day. A palm of chicken, beef, fish, or eggs is roughly 25 to 35 grams of protein depending on the source. 3 meals with a palm of protein each gets most men into an adequate range without weighing anything. Distribution: how to spread it across the day. Aim for 3 to 4 protein meals spread across the day rather than front or back loading. Each meal should hit 30 to 40 grams of protein to clear the leucine threshold. 1 large protein meal and 2 small ones won't trigger the same muscle preservation response as 3 consistently sized protein meals. Don't skip protein at breakfast, or at whatever your first meal of the day is. This is the most commonly missed protein opportunity. Whether you eat at 7 a.m. or noon, that first meal should be protein anchored. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein shake are the most practical options. Sources: what to prioritize. Complete protein sources: animal proteins, are the most effective for triggering muscle protein synthesis because they contain all essential amino acids including sufficient leucine. Beef, chicken, fish, eggs, dairy. These should be your primary sources. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are particularly useful because they're high in protein, quick to prepare, and contain casein protein, a slow-digesting protein that provides a sustained amino acid release, useful for the final meal of the day to support overnight muscle preservation. If you use protein supplements, whey protein is well-researched and effective for hitting daily targets conveniently. It's not a replacement for whole food protein, but it's a practical tool for men who struggle to hit targets through food alone. The calorie side: how protein affects the deficit. Higher protein doesn't mean more calories overall. The adjustment is to shift the composition of your intake. Increase protein while moderately reducing refined carbohydrates and excess fat to keep total calories in deficit. Protein also has a higher thermic effect than carbs or fat. Your body burns more calories digesting it, which means higher protein intake slightly increases the output side of your deficit automatically. So let's go back to where we started. When men over 35 go into a calorie deficit, up to 30 to 40% of the weight lost can come from muscle, not fat. Now you understand why. The deficit is correct. But without a strong enough protein signal at each meal, the body has no reason to protect muscle over using it for fuel. The scale goes down, but the composition of what's lost is wrong. And over time, a slower metabolism, a softer body, and a harder time losing fat the next time around. The fix isn't a new diet. It isn't a supplement. It's eating enough protein at each meal consistently to send your body the signal it needs to burn fat instead of muscle. 30 to 40 grams per meal. 3 to 4 meals a day, every day. That's the one eating change. And for most men, it's the one that changes everything about how their body responds to a deficit. If this video helped you understand things a bit clearer, I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. What I focus on here is simple, realistic approaches that middle-aged men can actually stick to, because that's what gets real results. If that's something you're working on, you can stick around for more.